How's it going there, guys? James here from Butler Farms, out here on an overcast Saturday. It's nice out here. Temperature's pretty good. Got a breeze coming through every once in a while. We got some weather coming in this afternoon, so as always, I'm in a hurry. I'm in a rush. But I did want to bring you an update down here at the raised beds about what's going on down here, and talk to you specifically about what I'm doing today. Let me get you turned around where you can see here. This is one of the raised beds that I put in, and you can see all that green up through there, guys. Those are onions. This is the onion bed that I planted first, and you can see that they are really taking off. Now what you can also see, and that's one thing that we're going to talk about in just a minute, you can see where these dumb dogs that we have that live here decided to walk through there. I think these are all going to be fine, because once they start bulbing, I'm gonna move the dirt away from them anyway. So should get a good stand of onions there. Let me move you down here to this one on the other end, and you can see I've got more onions down here. Now these are smaller. These are some of the leftovers out of the starts that I had, but you can also see where the dogs have walked all in here and mashed them down, but they're starting to pop back up. Now one thing that I was really concerned about is from here down to about right there, I planted a mix of lettuce that I get from, well, I think some of it came from Hoss Tools and some came from Baker Creek. It's just a cut and come again kind of mix, and I was really worried about those because when the dogs came through, I mean, they came through right after I planted these, but I want you to see right there, you can see my rows starting to come up. So am I going to get as heavy of a stand as I would like? No, but you can start seeing some of the rows down through there, so they may end up popping on out of there, and we'll see how it goes. But you know, I planted them. I knew I was going to have to fence it. I didn't know that it was going to be that immediate. I was more worried about the deer, to be honest with you, because I'm a good step from the house, and the dogs usually don't come down here. But I guess with something new down here, they had to come see what they could tear up. But hopefully they won't be an issue for too many more years around here. Down here on this end, as you can see, there's my last little row of lettuce coming up. Here I've planted two different types of radishes. Now we're not big radish eaters, but we would like some sweet radishes to put in salads and stuff as we pull these. And I've got green onions, I've got chives, I've got different stuff that we can mix in salads. So I planted two rows of them because that's all I really need. And one of them is a pink type radish that's called Jerzinka, I guess is how you say it. It's from Baker Creek, and it's supposed to be a good sweet radish. And the other one is called a purple plum. I actually have the packets right there. There's the Jerzinka, I don't know how you say that. And then here's what the purple plums are going to look like. So you know, that's about all we need on radishes. We're not, again, not big radishes, especially the spicy ones, but you know, just something different to mix in a salad. This has been my main task this morning, and this is the middle raised bed. And guys, I had a ton of carrot seeds, and some of them are getting some years on them. I'm gonna be honest with you, some of them are 4 or 5 years old at this point. And I've had success with carrots in the past, but I really haven't had a place to put them. My in-ground garden is not where they need to be. So now that I've got these raised beds, I've devoted this entire bed to carrots, and we're going to see what happens. So I was going to show you real quick what we got going on, because I had so many now. This is free seeds, actually, that were given to students at the school, and a bunch of them honestly just didn't want them. So of course I took them. I really don't know how they are, but you can see it's a carrot blend, and it doesn't even tell you it's a blend of what. But I did plant those just to get rid of them. Now one thing about Baker Creek, when you order, is they'll send you free seed packets, and I had 2 of these, the coral or corral carrots, and you know, they're full seed packets. So I planted about 1.5 rows of those, again with their with their free seed packets, they don't have a date on them, so I really don't know how old they are, but we're going to give them a shot anyway. And then I moved to one that I have used before and had some success with. I'm having to show you my torn package. This is from Hoss Tools. You can see this one's from 2023. It's the Bolero carrot, a thicker carrot, not a long skinny one, you know, more for this type of area. Coming on down, I had some, this is when I started my Danvers 126. These almost 2.5 rows. And you know, this is just your standard carrots. Some of them came from Baker Creek. Some of them, as you can see, came from Hoss. And some of these, you see the date on that? So I don't know how well they're going to do. I planted them extremely heavy, which we'll talk about more in just a minute. But this last row I did the new Corotas. Now the new Corotas are ones that I was introduced to by one of the other YouTubers that I watch. I've told you many times about Deep South Homestead and Danny King, Danny and Wanda down there, and they live in South Mississippi, so their climate there is not much different than mine, to be honest with you. They may be one grow zone down. I really haven't looked down there where they live to see, but I do know that he has tremendous success growing carrots, and they grow several different kinds. They do the Danvers 126 or the Danvers half long. That's a standard carrot, but they're the ones that kind of introduced me to the new Corotas, and I think somebody else had introduced them to them, and they've had tremendous success with those. Now, one thing I also wanted to show you, if you're interested in getting into carrots, I think they've got one for English peas, and I think they've got one for sweet potatoes. This is his little book that they sell. I don't know how well you can see that. This is Carrot Manual. That's Danny there on the front. And a lot of his stuff, if you watch his videos, is done in raised beds. So, you know, you can do that too. I mean, you can put a raised bed pretty much anywhere that you've got. In the case of mine, room for 4x8. I mean, I can't imagine any backyard smaller than that. But that's a good resource that I've used many times, and it's very short. You can see it's just straight to the point. But what it does is it gives you his tips for how he grows them and the success that he's had with them. Now, what I'm getting ready to do, and I should have saved some out because I'm sure some of you don't know how incredibly small carrot seeds are. So when I am planting carrot seeds, these are not something that I'm going to put in the ground one by hand. I've got these little planters, and this thing will twist here on top for different size seeds, and the smallest number on here is a number 1, and I don't know what in the world kind of seed that would be, but most of the seeds I plant are number 2s. And if you look at that little bitty hole, guys, if you turn it up to a number 3, they'll pour out of there so fast you won't be able to stop them. So, you know, on the seed packets it says to plant them about a 1/4 inch deep, a 1/2 inch apart, and then thin them to about 2 to 3 inches. Guys, you would spend the better part of a week out here trying to do that with a pair of tweezers or something. So what I've always done is I plant them pretty heavy, and plus these seeds are older, so therefore you know, I don't know how well they're going to germinate, but I will say that I hope they come up thick, and then I'll just get to thinning them. And you know, one thing is, when they're real young, when they first pop up, you can pull them and they're not going to disturb the ones beside them. Now when they get a little bit older, I just come through with a pair of scissors and clip them off, and if you clip off their green, that's going to take care of the rest of it. So you know, you could work yourself to death trying to plant carrots, and I know you can buy organic carrots pretty cheaply, but you know, at the same time I want to do it myself. So I'm getting ready to cover these up, and one of the tools that I use for this obviously is you can see my garden rake right there, a hard garden rake. And so what I'm getting ready to do is I'm getting ready to lightly cover them, and it's already starting to sprinkle and mist out here a little bit, so I've got to hurry this along. But I'm gonna cover them, and then I'm going to turn this around, and I'm going to tamp it down a little bit just to make some good contact. Now the other thing that I normally do, and I'm not going to do it today, and I'll tell you why. One of the things I normally do is I would water them in really good, and of course you got to have a pretty good nozzle to be able to do that, or you're going to end up blowing them out of there. But I would water them in really good, and then, believe it or not, I'm going to cover these things. I shouldn't have thrown away or recycled all that extra cardboard that I had, because that would have been perfect just to lay across the top of this. But cardboard, dark plastic, just anything to cover them and put them in the dark. I learned that from that book that I just showed you. And so I would water them in real good, I would cover them, and I'd leave them alone for the next 5 or 6 days, and then I'd start peeking under there. And when I see them start popping out of the ground, it just speeds up the process of getting them to germinate and come out of the ground. And once I see them starting to pop out of the ground, I'm going to remove that cover and let them go. Like I said, I had never done that before. To me, it kind of is counterintuitive to trying to get seeds out of the ground, but believe it or not, it works. And not only for me, but I've watched enough of Danny's videos to tell you that it works. And he covers his with, I think it's black plastic, and weighs it down, and leaves it for 5 days to a week and peeks under it. And when he starts seeing them sprouting, that's when he removes it. Now, the reason I'm not going to do that today is we've got this weather coming in. We're supposed to have a lot of rain coming in. So in my opinion, what the rain can do is a lot better than what I can do. I mean, it may be some driving rain, but I think this soil is going to soak it up really good, because this bed is kind of dry. And again, even with my nozzle that I have, and I'm struggling to get some light here so that you can see me, but even with the nozzle that I have, if I put it on the lightest shower type setting, it still beats these little seeds. So I'm going to let nature do it. I'm going to let the rain come in, and hopefully we'll get a good rain on it tonight, and then tomorrow after church I will come out here and cover it. I've got an old tarp that I've got on my tractor up there, one of those old blue tarps, and the thing is, it's about to fall apart. I've got one to replace it, to put over my tractor to keep the seat from dry rotting and cracking. And so I'll bring that old blue tarp down here and be the perfect size, throw it on the top, weigh it down, and set it and forget it, and come back in about a week and see what we got going on. So that's the main thing we got going on today. But the other thing, before I leave you, you can see that right over there. You can see my T-post right there, and you can see that I've had to go invest in a fence. Now, I've always fenced my garden. That's 5-foot fence down there, and to be honest with you, I don't have any trouble with deer. And I was going to get 5-foot fence here, but I think it was $15 extra. That's a 100-foot roll, so it's going to be more than adequate for this, simply because I think I measured it off at about 70 feet that I would need to go all the way around this thing. But for $15 more for a 100-foot roll, I went ahead and got the 6-foot. It's right here beside the woods. I don't want to take any chance of deer being able to get in here, and this is a small enough area that fence being in that small enough area is going to confuse them enough. They're not going to want to mess with it. So that's my next step after I get these seeds covered, and I got to get that up today, because I definitely don't want these dogs walking all over my onions anymore, or my lettuce, and I sure don't want them coming in here and messing up my carrot seeds. So we'll see. I'm a little late getting my carrots in, and that's a shame, but at the same time, I'm as busy as can be, and it says February to March as far as spring planting of carrots on most of the packs, and it's still early March, so I'm not real worried about it. We've had some extremely warm weather, but I think we got some cool, we're always going to have some cool snaps, so I think we'll be fine on that, and maybe they won't bolt them, before I can get them out of the ground. But anyway, I got to get busy, because like I said, this weather's coming in, and I've got some other things I've got to do after I get through with this, so I'm gonna get on it. Guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Hit that thumbs up button, tell a friend. Let's keep this thing growing, and don't forget, until next time, we love you, God bless you. This is James from Butler Farms, and we'll be seeing you.